So what do I love about the London Book Fair? I love the atmosphere here. I love the buzz and the excitement of being part of such a vibrant industry. I love meeting so many people I know. After 35 years in the business, there are a great many friends here.
We love the London Book Fair because it's so great to be around so many people that love books like we do, and just to see other publishers doing their best and doing what they love. It's fantastic.
It is by far and away the best place to meet all the people you need to meet, people you know, people you don't. We get so much more business done at fairs than we do in the regular course of the year.
Everybody's here and they're talking to each other. So people are meeting, they're sharing ideas, they're sharing experiences, and it's very collaborative. It's much less competitive, I think, than you might expect.
We get to meet a lot of our clients, we get to network with a lot of our, a lot of publishers, and that's giving us a total global exposure. So that's one of the reasons that I love London Book Fair. Number two, it's London. Who would not love London?
There's a great deal of enthusiasm. People are excited about the fair and really love just to walk around it and get excited about books.
The London Book Fair is really fantastic for us as a startup because everybody from the publishing industry is together in one place. So it makes it really easy for us to connect with all the people that we need to talk to.
I go to a lot of fairs in various parts of Europe, and I must say, it's just jolly nice. It's well organised and it's civilised too, and I really like it. Yeah.
It's just been an amazing experience, and it's really nice to be with so many people who just love books.
We're here to generate new opportunities for ourselves that build on our existing business and hopefully help us think about generating revenues from new and other areas. So that's really why we're here.
Data-based, right? And let me quickly recap a little
Please
bit.
do, yeah.
So number one, why this is the best, first reason why this is the best time in publishing, basically the revenue pool of our industry is globally, is growing every year. So every year, end consumers on the planet spend more money on books, on stories in long form than the year before. That's a good starting point.
This is a good thing.
The revenue pool is growing every year.
Yeah.
Second reason why this is the best time in publishing, in book publishing, is that we have fairly stable, robust, developed business models for the physical distribution of our content, but also for the digital distribution of our stories.
In some countries, not everywhere.
Yeah, and we have actually, you can basically order from around the world, but and we have been able to develop a business model for the digital distribution of our stories,
Right.
a functioning, and not all media industries, have achieved that goal.
Right.
So the third reason is that we have found what I call a healthy coexistence between print distribution and digital distribution, which is again, and the discussions 10 years ago about what will be the share, the split between digital and physical distribution
Right.
by 2020, 2021. Well, again, it's 80-20, like everything in nature is 80-20.
And you
But
predicted
again,
this.
80% is print and physical, and 20% is digital globally, which has stabilized the entire book ecosystem. Number four, the fourth reason why this is the best time in publishing is that our addressable audience, our reachable audience is growing. What does that mean? Well, the world population is growing by 3 to 4% every year,
Right.
and literacy rates are going through the roof, bringing more and more people into our reading ecosystem. And e-commerce, Amazon and Co. have helped us to reach those audiences in 3 to 4 seconds digitally and in 3 to 4 days physically, right, with our print books. Number five, perhaps the most important reason why this is the best time in publishing, is that books for children and for young adults have been the fastest growing categories of the last 25 years since Harry Potter. And that is, of course, important because it brings new and ever larger generations into our ecosystem. Last but not least, the sixth reason is that audiobooks are booming.
Right.
And they are partially incremental. They are not just cannibalizing other formats,
Right.
because you can do other things while listening to a good audio book, you can drive, commute, you can garden, you can do other things. So again, those are the 6 reasons. And if you look at those six reasons, they have all been holding true or were even accelerated during the pandemic.
Right.
And that's why we had double-digit growth in some of our territories.
And it sounds like, I mean, before we leave this point, because I do want to ask you a couple more things, but it sounds like what we're saying then is that that's the answer to somebody who would say, should we not worry about consolidation, however, just in the grand scheme of things? Is there a concern of seeing more consolidation in the industry?
If you look at sort of, my answer is no. Because if you look again at data,
right?
Over the last 10 years, right? Let's say like sort of 10-ish years, right? Since Kindle took off, it's 14 years in November.
Yeah, it was 2007.
So we are now going into like almost 15 years.
That's right.
Of that mass market for ebooks, and then of course the mass market for audiobooks. So if you look at the dynamics, you will see that smaller publishers have actually in the last 10 years outperformed the large publishers.
Wow.
It's hard for me to say, right? Because I'm one of those who got a little bit outperformed by by smaller publishers, and so there's also like we have a lot of very good new entrants into the market. There are no entry barriers into this market, right? There are new publishing models like, the Callisto model, the data-driven publishing and stuff, that basically gained very quickly traction in this industry, right? We have new avenues to the reader. We have self-publishing, right? We could talk about that a little bit. We don't have the time. But if you see the dynamics, they are very healthy. The industry is very vibrant. And so, if you will, the industry has been fragmenting a little, and not consolidating over the last decade. Again, the recent acquisitions of Workman and HMH, we can't go into the weeds here, have like very particular reasons. But so that's the dynamic, a very, very healthy dynamic. Why is that, Porter? Two reasons here. One of which is the shift to online. That basically has created a different sort of marketplace a little bit, where where the visibility and discoverability is being created very different from a bookstore.
Exactly.
And that has also helped smaller publishers. And smaller publishers, in particular, if they have a very good backlist, they have their best time. Talk to small publishers with a good backlist. They're saying like, oh my God, this is the best time in the history of my company.
Right.
Because, e-commerce has become over the last years a little bit more about the long tail. Backlist is outperforming frontlist a little bit.
Right.
So if you are a smaller publisher, you have respectable, like good frontlist, which becomes backlist. You have a very efficient channel with low return rates, and your backlist is going through the roof. So the industry dynamics are extremely healthy from my perspective. I'm not worried about consolidation. I think it's very vibrant, and I hope I can stop my market share loss.
We have to change our way of thinking and go to the digital as well. And I think that we can share the digital and the press books everywhere. And it's not only a challenge for reading, but also for the distribution of the books, for selling books. And that doesn't have to do only with one company. And you know what I mean. We can do it in many ways. So I think the digital world has showed us that there are many options.
Penso però che studiare matematica significhi imparare molto bene a fare una distinzione tra una cosa complessa e una cosa complicata. Organizzare una fiera come questa di Milano è una cosa complicata, ma non è complessa, perché c'è un grande entusiasmo da parte di tutti, c'è un grande aiuto da parte delle case editrici, quindi bisogna incastrare degli orari, incastrare degli esseri umani, incastrare dei temi, ma questo è complicato, non è complesso. Non lo so, forse non ci serviva studiare tanti anni, 12 anni matematica per capire questa cosa qui, però sicuramente a me è stata immediatamente chiara la differenza tra complessità e complicazione nell'organizzazione di una manifestazione collettiva come quella di una fiera del libro. Antonio Pascale che dice sempre questa cosa molto bella: quando compare la borghesia aumentano due cose, il consumo di carne rossa e il consumo di carta. Siccome Milano ha avuto una borghesia, in effetti il consumo di carta è visibilmente più alto che nel resto d'Italia.
La feria tiene varios pilares, varios aspectos. Es una feria del mundo literario, es un gran festival literario con la presencia de 700 escritores. Es una gran feria de libro infantil y juvenil con FIL Niños. Es una feria para jóvenes con FIL Joven. Y por supuesto una feria para profesionales del libro, porque la feria durante 3 días se dedica a todos aquellos que están inmiscuidos en la cadena de producción, distribución, venta de derechos del libro. Tenemos una serie de foros, de coloquios, de congresos. En la feria hay algo para cada interés, para cada público, para cada grupo de edad, para cada persona. Es una oferta cultural de más de 26 actividades simultáneas, de 9 de la mañana a 9 de la noche todos los días. O sea, son 9 días de 26 actividades, de 2,000 actividades en total. Quienes vienen a Guadalajara no solamente pueden participar o disfrutar las actividades dentro de la feria, sino también en muchas áreas de la ciudad, de esta gran metrópoli que es Guadalajara.
So this is the program of invited publishers, and it is one of the pieces of work that we do together with the Italian Trade Agency. We collaborate with them, they support us, and let me say that many of the initiatives that we are presenting this year are made thanks to them. So the World Lounge is including some 20 publishers from different countries. You see there's who already came yesterday to set up their place, but most of them are coming, and we are just waiting for them to join. Here we go to Hall 30. Hall 30 is one of the traditional international halls of the Bologna Children's Book Fair. You can find many different countries here, France, Germany, northern countries, and so many. And in this hall, we also have the Wright Center that this year is particularly big, but let's explore it together and we will tell you something about that. Well, here we are at the Wright Center. It's brand new actually, it's huge. First of all, you can have a look. It's 150 agents, I think, or even more. And it is a new location, but also new concept. Jax, would you like to tell us more about this?
Well, I think the Wright Centre is always an epicentre of every single book fair, and what is absolutely fantastic about this year is that as a collaboration, we opened up the Wright Centre from, it used to be the Children's Agent Centre, and now it is the Bologna Wright Centre, which welcomes general publishing rights professionals and general publishing agents as well. And that is reflected in the size of the Wright Centre this year, which really does reflect that the Wright Centre is situated by the most wonderful illustrators exhibition just behind these trees. And illustration is everything to BCBF, and rights are everything to Bologna Book Plus.
Yeah.
Be positive about storytelling and story consuming. It's in our DNA to consume stories, complex stories and characters. Books can make a very meaningful contribution to bring our societies together. And it starts with the parents, it starts with reading at home, it starts with a proper education in literature in schools, but it also starts with a positive view that reading is in. Reading is sexy. Reading is something young people want to do. It starts with kids, with creating the next generation of readers at a very early age. It starts at home. We want to make our books available in all formats and in all channels. We want our stories to be everywhere.
يسعدني دائما الترحيب بكم وبمجتمع النشر العربي لمناقشة سبل تطوير قطاع النشر على مستوى عالمنا العربي. خاصة وأنه يعد أساس التنمية الاجتماعية والاقتصادية في منطقتنا. أنا أؤمن حقاً أنه بمقدورنا إحداث فرق ملموس في عالم النشر على المستوى العالمي، ولكن لتحقيق هذا الهدف علينا أن نستفيد من الدروس وأن نتحلى بالمرونة والتفاعل مع العالم ونساعد بعضنا البعض، وأن نعطي الفرصة للمواهب المتنوعة من كلا الجنسين وكافة الأعمار. أتمنى لكم في أعمال هذا المؤتمر وفي جهودكم لتطوير قطاع النشر العربي كل التوفيق والنجاح.